Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of whatever it is we're doing here. Today we're examining politicians. So Boris Johnson just quit as the British Foreign Secretary amid the Brexit crisis he instigated, ostensibly to position himself for a run at the leadership of the Conservative Party. For those who don't know, Boris Johnson is like the British version of Donald Trump. Silver spoon background, a haircut that suggests one of the more worrying forms of autism, the kind of body that makes women vomit, and more than likely, and out of sheer necessity, a fellow grabber of vaginas. There is a difference though. Boris had the best education money can buy and some of it actually stuck, whereas Trump's slid off like a fucking turd on a hot plate. They both share the empty ambition of the roles they were groomed for. Vacuous, soulless, exploitive administrative positions that magnify their uselessness but impress people who don't like to think about things. I have no doubt Trump would be a dictator to end all dictators if he wasn't so hamstrung by Congress and the Constitution. So thank heavens for the foresight of the Founding Fathers. His track record is a dystopian wasteland of destroyed companies, swindled subcontractors and disappointed women. And he kind of looks like Immortan Joe, the fat guy in the glass suit from the last Mad Max movie, which is also a look I think Boris could pull off, which isn't to say he hasn't. At those toddler shagging, human sacrifice, eyes wide shut parties I'm sure everyone from Eton and Harrow go to. As well as looking like, I think these two are very similar in personality. They project themselves as larger than life characters and have somehow convinced large swathes of the population that they're competent. They don't seem competent to me, they seem conniving. But this isn't necessarily a bad trait for a politician, because that's the job. Unfortunately, while politicians with principles connive for the greater good, these two seem in it purely for their own gain. So what are we talking about? Are we determining who's better at crowd manipulation, or who's better for those they laughingly purport to serve? I think Boris's bumbling is by design. It's all part of his image manipulation as a lovable buffoon, and it appears to work because he managed to shrug off the responsibility for the lying that, at least in part, led to Brexit, and wound up as the Foreign Secretary. This Teflonism is mirrored by Trump, who isn't so transparent with his own bumbling, but who seems to me to be genuinely stupid. He's very good at manipulating dumb people, obviously, but otherwise seems as thick as pig shit. And that apparently is part of the reciprocal charm. Except it's not reciprocal, because he fucking hates the working class. That's why he doesn't pay them, and why he only gives tax breaks to rich people. He wants you to vote for him, then die. So who makes the better politician? I don't think there's much to pick between the two countries. British politicians seem to be more educated and polished in the nuance of political discourse. They get by with polite guile and subtle deceit. American politicians tend to be more crude and bombastic, but expend a lot of money, time and effort in becoming photogenic, both physically and figuratively. Apparently Trump missed that meeting, fat cunt. So who would we rather be exploited by? I think the Americans, because simply they're more unintentionally transparent.